Hi Buddhas, thank you so much for using my channel. Before we start the live feed, I'd like to say an extra big thank you to the people who support all three of my channels via patreon.com and buymeacoffee.com, because my content just wouldn't be the same without you. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. You'll find the links in the description of this video. So, shall we start chanting together in unity? Okay, let's do it. Hi, beautiful, warm-hearted, stunning Buddhas. How are you today? I hope it's nice and sunny where you are, or at least in your heart. It's a chilly one today. For me, it's the first properly chilly day of the autumn. And when that happens, that normally happens in September. I mean, it's been chilly on a few occasions. Sorry, I'm talking about the weather again. You know when you're getting old, when you talk about the weather and nothing else. I'll tell you what I was laughing at in a sec. But yeah, for me, it's the first chilly one this autumn. So I feel a bit Christmassy. What I was laughing at is I was tempted to go, my ears aren't quite right. Got my thingy set on properly, don't think. Anyway, yeah, there's a I'm away with my mind as well elsewhere today. Yeah, I agree. You must have heard those seagulls. My goodness, they are loud today. Yeah, so I was about to burst into what I perceive as old person speak. Now, it is not the case. It's for comedy effect talk, right? So I don't believe that old people or elderly people talk about just the weather or other things, but in my experience, it's the same thing over and over again. I think it's because I used to work in a supermarket, and it wasn't a very big supermarket. It was on in a housing estate. We call it a precinct in the UK. Big housing estate, a row of shops darted about, so it was one of those. But it was really busy, and it was we used to get all the locals in. I used to get this guy who would completely insist on talking a different foreign language every day. He would talk to me entirely in whatever language it was. I remember French, Italian, German. Pretty sure he could talk Arabic. I can't remember what else, but several. He was very talented, but he wouldn't break his acting. What's the word? Wouldn't break. But he would continue. I would say to him, I understand hello. I don't know what else you're saying. Oh my goodness. I think his name was Pat. He really annoyed me. I had to get out there in the end because all the customers started annoying me. But every customer would talk about the weather. And when you have thousands of customers a day, well, not every customer, but I would get hundreds of, oh, it's lovely out there today, or oh, it's miserable today, isn't it? Oh, God. It was all the older people. When I say older people, I was between between 15 and, when did I leave? 32. So I 16, 17 years I was there, and everyone was old when I first started. Even someone my age was really old. Yeah, and when the really older people I would help them with their shopping, and they would say, I'm nearly 90, you know, and it turns out they're like 83, you know. That it's the thing with older people. I haven't got to that stage yet. I'm in my very late 40s, very, very late 40s. In fact, 13 years past 40. That's how old I am. I haven't got to the stage where I add to my age. So when I do that, someone shoot me. someone just tell me to stop. So when I'm 74, I will say, I'm nearly 80, you know. Do you get that? I still hear that today. It does make me laugh. When you're in your youth, you want to be older. When you're older, you want to be younger. When you're old, you want to be older. So there's some sort of pattern there, I think. Anyway, shall we do Gongyo? I've been talking for so long, my device has turned off. That is not a good idea. Right. We're ready to do Gongyo. I'm sure you're very happy to hear. Okay, settle down, Nigel. Here we go. Enjoy. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Myoho Renge Kyo. Aben Pandai Ni. Niti says unto Samayanto Niki Gosho Yasabi Chia Jinji Maria Gachi Yamanangai Nanyu Yaksi Bizavina Chisha Wishaka Bizaji Yakasaman Nakamishi Shabasalinga Shabasamaria Doha Yamyasha Jamyasha Manja Jinjin Misa Oha Zegi Shazas Ishi Nangai Sharyaskaji Divers Irashi Juin and Shiju Hei Kawan Gankamishu Indashi Jarari Shadakasha Shagan Orino Hermaskai Gas Sakashari Asanara TK Koda Jin Maria Mugai Rikami Shawi Sanjay Gaida Sanwan Jinni Musa Joju Wisai Misa Norana Shede Farmers Gas Shahagan Jinni Nana Kashi Sharias Yangan Chin Mariam Misa Oha Beijita Jishin Sharias Fashi Basis Jawi Shaga Bishaji Dach Ku Nangashi Hoyo Bizia Biznai no Guchin Jahaje Sasha Shahana Sana Shana Taina Sana Naze Kana Hana Homa Kagyata Shawi Shahana Sana Shana Taina Rikina Sana Naze Kana Homa Kagyata Shawi Shahana Sana Shana Naze Sana Naze Kana Homa Kagyata Myoho Renge Kyo Niraju Daiju Raku Iga Takabara Shaka Shri Maria Yakasama Nakasaya Sagi Jase Baka Gomeshi Running up Ifuken Shiken Gamasaka Kiyashari Genkaya Rainbow Nisha Kaskashin Shido Kinshin Bakashi took Uni Nine Nation Yakan Bazabi Pinriko Gen Emas Vemas Yakuka Shidaku Gashin Gashan Gamba Oichi Isis Major Hanyata Fima Nice Isa Patinzi Rekinyaza Owa Sogi Kajazaria Jisengi Oshoji Shoshi Koking Idin Dakasha Shaji Gashi Then in judgment, Omrin Shodo Gakshigo, Hojogon Haji Deke, Kishida Shoyi Raksha Tenga Kidenga Dasa Shigi Gaku Mandara Kasambas Gada Shigada Da Fukini Shiki. Kunanya says Ziman says she Joey Yakago Win Nankara Sogi Kaifu Mansaba Miashu Ushoku Dukniwa Shiji Dikasaso Kogenga Shinsai Shinis Bakaji Shishi Sisabasaji Maria Kunai Kambisha Jesus was an Anjigachi Rikinaza Eka Shamaria Jamia Mishi Kagushik Koganyato Ochi Shamato Shishankita Damia Jimbaska Jepekanya Wiz and Harpeni Yashiko Design Ganchi Muno Sekama Gayaka Isabu Kishoki Bambu Tenda Jisanani Gamas Icha Kenga Koni Kosh Yakata O Akada Jiga Jaja Shijaka Defiga Dazuya Shaka Doi Seshuju Maji Zasenin Igaria Shida Tukanu Mitada Sakado Dubushin Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho 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 Renge Kyo. Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam 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 Myoho Renge Kyo. Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam 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 Myoho Renge Kyo. Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho 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 Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho 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 Renge Kyo. Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam 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 Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho 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 Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Gekko Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho 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 Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho 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 Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho 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 Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho 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 Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho 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 Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam 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 Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Renge Kyo Nam Myoho 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 Renge Kyo Renge Kyo Nam Myoho 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 Renge Kyo Renge Kyo Nam Myoho 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 Renge Kyo Renge Kyo Nam Myoho 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 Renge Kyo Renge Kyo Nam Myoho 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 Renge Kyo Renge Kyo Nam Myoho 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 Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho 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 Renge Kyo. Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam 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 Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho 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 Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho 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 Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho 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 Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho 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 Renge Kyo. Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Wow. Thank you so much. I hope I didn't spoil. I hope I didn't spoil your Gongyo. For those of you who noticed that I lost it during reciting the first two passages, or the passages before Daimoku, Gongyo, basically. When we first started, I came, when the live feed first started, I was talking about I used to work in a shop or a supermarket. It was like for the local community. Excuse me. And yeah, I left after 16 years actually, because I wouldn't say I was a horrible person, but I developed quite the intolerance of a lot of customers. Something happened as well, and I got disillusioned with the the job. But anyway, what I was laughing at, and the reason why I lost it during Gongyo is because what popped into my head was all the really, at the time, funny things we used to do, sort of jokes we used to play on the customers. It was funny at the time because, well, it's not so funny now, but when I look back on my life and think some of the things I've done, hopefully that's not just me. You know, we all have a past that we can look back on and think, I could have done that differently, maybe. I wouldn't do this sort of thing now, but some of the things we used to do, the customers didn't know about. You know, we used to trick them and kind of prank them. And I'm not going to go into what I did. They're all kind of harmless, except inconspicuously, it's not harmless, is it? It's adding negative karma to my my rucksack that I carry around. But I finally lost it during Gongyo because I was thinking of my favourite customer. She was a very old lady. Well, is old, I mean, at the time, I think it was last century, end of last century, she would have been in her early 80s, maybe 83, 84. And her name was Olive. I remember her dearly. I grew really close to her. She'd come in and she'd be very cheeky. And I would help her. You know, she was quite short, so I would help her get, I've always been this tall, stuff from the top shelf. And yeah, and I grew really fond of her. And when she come to get a pension, I think on the precinct where the shop was, the supermarket was, I think it was Thursday morning. So I'd look forward to Thursdays and be delighted when she turned up other days. Because in those days you used to go to the post office and collect your pension and get it in cash. I think it's changed now. Or maybe it hasn't, I don't know. So I grew really fond of her. I really adored her, actually. And then I always used to work Christmas Day. I suppose 9.5 times out of 10 I would work Christmas Day, not for the money. Actually, it was mostly joyful and extraordinarily busy. We would open for 3 hours and take more in those 3 hours than we did in a normal whole day. In takings. So I got there at 9:30. I worked my 3 hours, running around all over the place, queues everywhere. And that was 10 till 1. So I'd get home. I lived with my parents and family at 1:15, 1:20. And this one Christmas I got home and I was met at you walk in the back door and there's a kitchen. And they said, we've got someone to have Christmas dinner with us, lunch. So I go in there and there was Olive sitting at the table because they knew I adored her so much. But just a few years after that, I think maybe 85, 86 years old, she passed away, and I was absolutely devastated. And I promised I would not get close to any customer again. In my heart, you know, I was absolutely devastated. Another thing I was laughing at was at the beginning was she invited myself and my wife at the time around for like a lunch. And it's a buffet lunch, you know. She showed us into the kitchen and said, "Oh, there's ham." At the time, I ate meat. No, No, I think it was after. Yeah, because that was one of the awkward moments. No, it doesn't matter. But she had ham there. She had lettuce, other salad things, and every the lettuce was really black around the sides. She couldn't see properly, and of course we didn't eat the ham. Yeah, I think it's after I turned veggie. I turned veggie in '96. So late 90s. Yeah, so we sort of put everything on our plate to be polite, and sort of nibbled at what we could nibble at, and then just I take my plate in the kitchen and put the food in the bin because it was all rancid and horrible. And my goodness. But that's not the point. That that's not like, oh, she did us harm, or moan. We didn't moan about her. It was just a lovely thing for her to do. So that's what I was laughing at, and all the other pranks we used to do to the customers. My goodness, it's a jolly good job. I found Buddhism to lessen my karmic retribution. Anyway, I've really I talked a lot, and this live feed has lasted forever, I think. So let's leave it there. and I'll go and sit in a corner and think about all the things I've done. See if I can't make that change that I need to change, the change that I need to make. Right, thank you so much for joining me live today. Thank you so much for watching this back. If you're still watching this when you're actually playing the video, when it's on my channel, then wow, amazing. And you are all awesome, as it still says on screen. So let's do this again very soon. Until then, please take very good care of yourselves. And of course, happy chanting.